Renji Abarai is the lieutenant of the 6th Division under Captain Byakuya Kuchiki and is married to Rukia Kuchiki. He formerly served as the 6th seat of the 11th Division under Kenpachi Zaraki. Renji has brown eyes and long crimson hair, which is usually kept in a high ponytail. As a child, Renji's hairline was leveled. Later, he styled it in a large widow's peak. His upper body is covered in tribal tattoos, which have increased over time, starting from his early days as an academy student to covering his entire back, much of his chest, his extremities, and even much of his forehead. He wears a standard Shinigami Shyakusei ring, though he usually includes some sort of headgear, usually expensive glasses, that are all brought from Siri Itai's popular Jintanbo store, or a white headband when he is saving up to purchase some new glasses due to each pair being broken in one way or another, as well as each one costing half a year's worth of one of his paychecks. Despite being of appropriate rank, Renji does not wear his division's lieutenant badge. While out of uniform, Renji often wears a white kimono-like type of night clothing, with pink floral patterns on it, and a dark gray sash tied around his waist. It has also been said that the women within his division do not mind that he usually walks around in his night clothing. 17 months after Aizen's defeat, Renji's hair has grown longer and he wears a maroon-colored bandana covering all of the tattoos on his forehead. He also wears long dark straps on each wrist with bandages over his arms. 10 years after Huak's defeat, Renji's hairstyle changes drastically. He now sports a long braid instead of a ponytail. Renji is quite dynamic, as his personality varies from smug and cocky before a fight, to then disquieted and depressed after a major defeat, but shows himself to be an incredibly serious and determined fighter when confronted with an actual threat. Willing to fight, kill, and die for whatever he believes in, Renji is a dangerous man to those who stand in his way, especially regarding how close he is to his fellow childhood friend, Rukia Kuchiki. Yasuto Urasato compares his fighting style to that of Akigo Kurosaki, whom he initially antagonized but got along with quite closely since Aizen's betrayal, albeit frequently argues with. Renji is determined to surpass his captain, Byakuya Kuchiki, and it's this determination that drives Renji to grow stronger, compounded by the fact that Renji still holds on to the philosophies of the 11th Division as one of its former members, where he will die trying against a threat he has decided to handle alone out of his resolve. Renji likes taiyaki, a popular fish-shaped pancake usually filled with sweet bean paste, and has a dislike for spicy food. Renji also likes futsal, and in his free time works on assembling a team from the 6th Division, with success, more or less. The current members are himself, Rikichi Yuki, and the 4th, 8th, 13th, and 20th seated officers. In regards to Renji's knack for having fancy eyewear, even if it always breaks on him and costs a lot to replace each broken pair, his dream is to wear a pair of self-designed goggles at least once. Renji grew up in the 78th district of Rukia, in Uzuri, with several other children. Having come to Soul Society alone, they helped each other to search for their families. One day, after stealing a jug of water, Renji and his friends were chased by a kama-wielding adult. Rukia Kuchiki tripped the adult and urged Renji's group to follow her to avoid losing the water. Rukia joined their group and they lived together as a family. They all hated Uzuri and the people there. Renji disliked the fact that Rukia had spiritual power as he did. 10 years after Rukia joined their group, with all of their friends dead, Rukia proposed that they become Shinigami, which Renji agreed to do. As they were quite gifted with spiritual powers, they entered the Shin''A Ring Academy with ease, where they struggled to prove their worth among those from noble families. The night before the welcoming ceremony for the new students of the academy, Renji slept in a tree, against Rukia's advice. The following morning, he fell out of the tree and landed on a headstone where a startled Izuru Kira had been praying. Having scored among the highest grades in the entrance exam, Renji was admitted into the top class along with Izuru and Momo Hinamori. 2 months after entering the academy, Renji scolded Rukia for still not fitting in and informed her that he was going to the human world for field training to practice the Kansei ring for the first time. Whilst being briefed on the field trip by Shahai Hisagi, Hotaru Kanisawa, and Oga. Renji failed to recognize Shahai, who was to lead the mission. Izuru explained to him that Hisagi was famous and a gifted student. Renji, Izuru, and Momo were assigned to the same group. When Momo joined them, Renji kicked Izuru because of how he greeted her, saying that he should not let his emotions show so easily. While in the human world, Renji remarked that Kan's A-ring was a lot easier than he had imagined. He then lost his temper with the constantly fidgeting Izuru and punched him. As Shahai called an end to their field trip, the group was attacked by a huge hollow, which killed Kanisawa and seriously wounded Oga. Shahai ordered the group to retreat while he stayed to fight the hollow. When a second huge hollow appeared, Momo stopped and questioned why they were running away. Renji reminded Momo that the hollow had just killed 2 6th-year students. When Momo rushed back towards Shahai, Renji and Izuru followed her and helped to block the second hollow's attack on him. When more huge hollows showed up, they were saved by the arrival of 5th Division's Captain A-ring Sukezen, and his lieutenant, Jin Ikamaru. When Momo wondered if they would ever become as strong as Aizen and Ikamaru, Renji laughed at the notion and insisted that captains and lieutenants were monsters. Having passed an important exam, Renji rushed to find Rukia to tell her. However, when he found her, she was with several Shinigami, including Byakuya Kuchiki. As they left, Renji noted Byakuya's power, causing him to wonder who he was. Renji asked what they wanted and congratulated Rukia when she told him that they want to have her adopted into the Kuchiki clan, have her graduate immediately, and be assigned to the 13th Division. Rukia thanked him and left. Renji told himself that Rukia finally had a family and that he should stay out of it. After Rukia left, Renji trained every day in a bid to beat Byakuya, but he was unable to defeat him even once. Renji graduated from the A-ring Academy in its 2066th year and joined the Gotai 13, where he initially served under Aizen in the 5th Division, along with Izuru and Momo. The rebellious Renji, however, was moved to the 11th Division and rose to the rank of 6th seat. During his time in the 11th Division, he befriended Kaku Madarame, to whom he revealed that he wanted to become stronger than Byakuya Kuchiki. Kaku taught Renji how to fight and Renji became aware that Kaku had a Bankai, and requested that he use it to train Renji. 40 years after Rukia's adoption into the Kuchiki clan, in mid-April, Momo and Izuru presented Renji with a letter stating that he was to be promoted to lieutenant of the 6th Division. He formally accepted Momo's words, which caused her to tell him not to be so uptight. Kaku told him that he was now a step closer to Rukia and that his will had been strong for 40 years, but now that he was a lieutenant, they should return to the type of relationship that they once shared. Izuru informed Renji that Rukia was leaving on a mission to the human world that afternoon. When Momo urged him to hurry, Renji told her that he would wait until his promotion was made official a month later, and that when she returned, he would surprise her with it. On the 19th of July, Renji was sent alongside his captain to arrest Rukia and return her to Seoul.